We're going to turn this IKEA storage system into this. This is the IKEA Kallax storage system. It used to be an awful lot bigger, but as you can see, I've started chopping it down into little pieces. This used to be a 12-box storage shelf. It's now only 6, and it's going to go into my daughter's bedroom. I'm working on a series called This Time It's Personal. I'm a general builder. I'm doing my daughter's bedroom in my downtime, days off. And I'm trying to do it as cheaply as I can, but with the maximum results possible. So we're quite short on space in my daughter's bedroom. Although we've upgraded several bits of it, I need to make sure that she's still got enough storage in this small bedroom. And we're going to make some modifications to this shelving unit so that we can integrate a desk into it as well. And I'm going to take you on the journey on how I make these changes and how we upgrade her bedroom. So this storage system used to come out this way, come up a bit higher and come back down here. So basically I've trimmed off 6 boxes worth and I've refined it just down to these cubes. This storage system will go this way in her bedroom, and then I'm going to build a desk to go all the way across the top of it so that she can have some seating space next to the storage boxes for a desk for some schoolwork and that sort of stuff. So let's make some changes. All I'm trying to achieve here is just a gentle sand down, just a rub down of all the surfaces, make sure there's nothing protruding. The old dowels that are cut off are now nice and they've cut flush and sanded flush. Just making sure that we're completely free from anything that is sort of grime that's got onto here over the years. This started its life in a living room, then for the last 2 years it's been in my garage, and now it's going to have hopefully many more happy years in my daughter's bedroom in a different look. So it's been through it. We're just trying to restore it, even if I was talking, there's some old bits of plaster that have found its way onto it there that I need to sand off. Really like gentle sandpaper, gentle rub down, then we're going to give it a good wipe down and then prime it. And I'll show you what products we use for priming this in just a minute. So priming something like this, we're going to use this Zinza Bin primer. It is absolutely brilliant. If you're doing any priming, I use this on skirting boards, doors, woodwork. This is fantastic stuff. No problems recommending this product whatsoever. As well as that, we're going to use a mini roller, a paintbrush to get into the tough edges, and a tray. If you've seen my plastering mist coat video, you'll know one of the errors I made is I didn't properly clean this before painting, and we rectified it, but let's get ahead of that one. So just going to clean all the old paint off this one before let's learn our lessons. There we go. That took me all of 30 seconds and it saved me probably 10 minutes worth of sanding down and repainting. So recommend that one. So we're going to put some of that into this. Really, we're going to use these to get it on that. You get the picture. Let's get on with it. So this stuff is absolutely brilliant. It literally dries in about 5 minutes, especially being outside. So I'm going to be able to give this a second coat. There's a couple of little bits I might want to sand down. Once you prime things, it kind of shines a light on some of the things you might have missed. So a little modification, second coat of this, and then it'll be ready for top coat. And that's this bit done, ready for the next. So the next steps, get the unit in and a sheet of MDF over the top, cut, made to measure. We're gonna have to put some buttons on the wall to rest the desk on to make sure it's solid. A few things to work out here. So a couple of minutes in my head, just thinking and planning. And then we're gonna sling into action. I'm gonna go and get that unit. We're gonna put it here, do some measurements. And yeah, I'll take you on that journey. And hopefully it's gonna turn out beautifully. The plan is now to build a desk all the way into the corner over here. This bedroom is part of a larger series called This Time It's Personal. This is my daughter's bedroom. I'm a general builder, so this is my own time. Evenings, weekends, the occasional day off. Not gonna lie, it's taken me a little while to get this room done, but it's been plastered. I've changed loads of stuff in this room, flooring, insulation. I've put new plug sockets in. So she's gonna be able to sit over here, doing her thing, homework, makeup. Let's not kid ourselves, probably going to be makeup. So she's going to be chilling here. This is going to be a seating space. She's got power underneath for hair dryers, straighteners. I don't know. I don't really have much experience in this stuff. And then up here for a desk lamp or whatever she needs. So we've created that on purpose. That's enough of me waffling on. Next steps is to get tape and get this measurement all the way across ready for the finished desk. One nice piece of wood all the way across. We're going to get that nice and set up level, and then we'll put some buttons on the wall so that they can sit on that. We've got a lot to do to make it nice. So let's get on. So let's just take some measurements and work out what we want and where we want it. Tip is make sure your tape measure is straight, basically. Make sure it's not wonky. If your tape measure is even slightly wonky, you're going to get different readings. So just make sure you can line it up with a straight edge. So for me, I've got the straight edge along this unit. So my tape measure all the way along here is going to line up with the edge of that unit when I'm getting the length. And then same on the back. I'm going to line it up either with the wall or I'm going to line it up with the edge of the back of the unit when I'm getting that measurement as well. I left my phone in my pocket and it's got a load of dust in it now. Oh! I'll get that out later. Right, so 420, 420, 42. There it is. There's the desk. Kind of. Ish. Offer it in and see how it feels. So I've got my drill bit in my drill. Going to get these holes done. I've got one hole here, here, and then one just here. Some of you will be noticing this plug socket and where I'm about to drill the hole and thinking that's not clever. And I applaud you because you're thinking about your cable zones. If you don't know what that means, cable zones usually go vertically or horizontally from the source of the plug. For example, here, they're either going to run that way, or that way, or that way. Now, my hole is well within that zone, but I've put this plug socket in and I know that all the cables go down, so we're okay. But if that was you, if you were thinking, don't do that, you idiot, well done, good job. I'm okay on this occasion because I know what's behind there. So Drill bit. Hoover. Pop your plugs in. Use a hammer. Whoa. That's lovely. So that's pulled in nice and tight now. So that's on the wall. Same process, but for a little section on this side. Now that is solid. I could stand on that if I wanted to. Shall I? Now I said I could stand on it, and I've challenged myself to eat my own words, so I'll get on with that, shall I? There we go. I can stand on it. Anyway, that's enough of that clowning around. Let's get the worktop back on here and see how it looks. Everything's looking all right, so we'll take that as a win. But it doesn't look very pretty at the minute, so I need to take this back out, in and out like a yo-yo, but I've got to take it back out, I've got to sand down the edges and get it looking nice, and then we'll bring it back in. So we've made it outside, which is lovely, beautiful weather. What we're going to do, as I've just said, is prepare this worktop to go back into the bedroom. Loads of ways you can do this, lots of different tools you could use. The easiest, I would say, at this stage is a random orbital sander. Got Velcro pads that go on and off, and we're just going to go over the edges to create it a bit more rounded than it is square. You can use routers, palm routers, to create really nice details. We're not going to go to that extent on this one. We're going to keep it simple, keep it as easy as possible. You can't even afford one of these. Get some sandpaper for a couple of quid from your local builder's yard and just give it a rub down just until you get the desired finish that you want, okay? I'm going to use this and this because this is going to create a lot more dust and I don't really want to inhale all of this. So let's get on with it. That's the edge all rounded off, looking rather nice. Okay, it's back in. Edge is rounded. She's not going to hurt herself in any square edge. Sometimes MDF can be quite sharp on the sides. So that is lovely. So it's coming together really well. It's now solid. This is solid. This end is solid. Everything's where I want it to be. Now it's just a case of really fixing everything together. I can go through the top here into the buttons that I put onto the wall. I can clamp this together. So I'm going to go ahead, get that done very quickly. And then we're going to talk about next steps. We're going to use a small pilot hole to drill down into the buttons that I put on earlier. And then we're going to use a small countersunk bit. Hopefully that'll... Small countersunk bit, just to hide the head of the screw. So let's get on with it, shall we? Well, the idea is to make sure the surface of the screw is below the surface of the sheet material, and then we can go ahead and fill that in later. So that's that end fixed. Let's just get this end fixed. Now, you could put a load of contact adhesive, glue, something underneath this. That would be wonderful. I am not going to do that because I want to potentially be taking this in and out for various different things in the future, maybe adding some lights or whatever. So I want the flexibility to do that. So I'm not going to glue it, but if you're happy, go ahead and glue it. Probably be a better finish. I'm going to put some more screws in at various points, making sure they don't stick through where the boxes are. So I'm going to go ahead, get on with that. I'll see you in a minute. So there we are. That is all solid and fixed. To be honest, I don't even need to screw this back to the wall, which is dreamy. I think the way it's locked in at that end and the way it's all locked in across the top here is great. However, I'm going to do it anyway. If you've got any thoughts or questions for me at this stage, drop a comment down below and I will get back to you. I quite enjoy reading different comments. Some of my other videos, people have put up their way of doing it, and not in opposition to how I do it, but it's just a way of sharing knowledge, a wider pool of knowledge. So if you've got some thoughts, some ideas, do feel free to drop it in the comments below, and let's talk about it. And it's great to have a dialogue. It helps people out, so do that for me. That's looking all right. It's taking shape. I think you can see where we're going with this now. So boxes, shelves, everything's in, locked together, nice and tight. The next bit, I made the mistake of asking my daughter what she thought and how she wanted this. And there's a list. So let's see if we can make it happen. All of this was based off of an AI image that she spotted on, I can't remember where it was now actually, maybe Pinterest or something. That sparked it off for her, the colour scheme, the idea of this. My work cut out for me. This is a small room, so we need to maximise space. She's got a bed coming, which has got storage underneath, hence the sort of storage over here, but keeping it fairly narrow, the corner cupboard. Everything is in mind to create storage in a small room whilst trying to keep as much space as possible. So one of the ideas of hers, which I actually agree with, is to build a fairly section of shelves going up with a longer platform on top, another desk. So I'm going to have two of those, one on either side. Then I'm going to put a few shelves in upright. I don't want it to come all the way out, so this is for 20mm deep. I only really want it to come out not even halfway. I want it less than that. Yeah, we'll go 15mm. So we're going to come out not 15mm, we're going to come out 150mm. 15mm would be silly mark. Right, I know that cut, I know those cuts, I know that cut. I suppose I better get on really and do some cutting. So there we are, 3 shelves, 2 uprights. I want the first upright to line up with the edge of the storage unit underneath, so I'll do that properly in a minute. For now, just to help with spacing, I've put a shelf on the base. That's close. So they're going to go like that. They're not going to want to stay there, so I'll just turn them sideways for a minute, you get the idea. And then I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 shelves. I've cut these shelves a little bit thinner than the actual uprights, so that the shelves look like they go in when you're looking at them from the front. There's a nice little recess, so just a little easy detail to do at this stage. So what I want to make sure now is when these uprights go in, that I don't put a shelf where that plug socket is, because that'd be stupid. So let's not do that. I'm going to mark on here just above where the plug is. That's going to be for the underside of my first shelf. Very nice. What I need to do really is just go back outside and build this ladder, this little bookshelf. Another little detail I need to do is just sand the front edge of the shelves when they go in. When they go in, the front edge of the shelf doesn't want to be as square and harsh as it is now. As you can see, quite sharp edges. So I want to avoid that and just round them off a little bit, nothing too drastic. So same method as the top of the desk, round it over with a random orbital sander, give that a go. So yeah, let's go and get this ladder built. As soon as that ladder built, we can put that in place and then offer up this top length and secure that to the wall. And then we're close, right? Surely there can't be anything else. If I missed something, I've got a feeling I might have missed something. Holes in this storage system. So we're going to use this wood filler, 2-part wood filler. It's brilliant. You use a golf ball size of this putty and a pea size amount of this hardener. Mix the two together, get it in the holes, and I'll show you how to do that properly so we can have a really flat surface once we paint it all. Okay, so I want a scrap bit of wood to mix on. So I'm going to get a golf ball size of this stuff onto there. Now, I don't play golf, but I've thrown enough golf balls around to know that that's probably about right. And we're going to use a pea amount of this hardener. I don't just blob it all in one place. I actually put a bit on in different places just to help spread it around and mix it in. Get rid of that. Okay, so now the timer starts. Now I've got to get this mixed together properly. A couple of tricks for doing this well. Try and smooth it into a paste. It really helps mix it in. If you can smooth it, it gets all that material combined nicely. Holes filled. Sweet. Looking good. Proper good finish on that one. So follow that advice and you will not be disappointed. I'm up against it now because I'm waiting for a delivery in the next hour for the bed to go in this space. There's going to be no room then for me to make a mess, all the camera equipment, all that sort of stuff. So I've got to get my rush on, which is great, really, really handy because I've got this Zinza bin paint, which you saw me use at the start of the project on this IKEA unit at the bottom. So that 15 minutes touch dry, 45 minutes recoat. So that is going on all over this place. I'm going to try not to splash it on, but I'm going to use that because it's brilliant. Then I'm going to follow it up with some quick dry satin wood. Now, to get a really nice finish, I'm going to roller the majority of it on with a standard short pile roller. So that is a short pile mini roller. That's what that looks like. You can get them medium pile, long pile, all different applications really. This one says it's good for gloss. This one says it's good for emulsion. Work it out. You know, you don't have to be professional to be able to read a label. So get the right one for the application that you're doing. So, Zinza bin, slap it on. And then we're ready for top coat. And this project is going to be looking pretty pucker. A few more little finishing details left towards the end. I'll show you those, but for now, let's get this on. I'm not going to show you the whole process. You've seen enough painting, so here we are. I've got my primer on. That's all looking all right. But the edges of the MDF are still fluffy. Now, we knew this was going to happen, I could just leave it. It looks rubbish. If you buy a worktop from the merchants, you won't have these fluffy edges because it's all been done by them. But I've used this MDF from the garage, been left over, and I've made something of it. So I've got to now treat this surface. And if you're in a similar position where you've got to paint MDF and you've got to prepare your own surface, then this is how to do it. First of all, prime it. Get loads of primer on. Use that Zinza bin. It's great stuff. 45 minutes later, it's ready for a second coat, which means it's also ready for what we need to do, which isn't the second coat yet. It's a bit of sanding. We need to sand down some of the fluff off this edge and then paint it again. And then possibly again. So if you're looking to save on time, just go ahead and buy something that's already done. If you're looking to save on money, follow these steps and it will work fine. So there's a nice super close-up for you so you can see what fluffy edges look like. That's what we're dealing with. Fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. So let's get rid of that. Just want a bit of sandpaper. And there we go. That's a completely different finish to what was there just a second ago. That now is actually quite smooth. That's what we're going for. That's all we need to achieve all the way along. Do that, paint it again, and then we'll see if it needs another one. Well, there we go, folks. That is a lovely, lovely finish. Now, depends on what quality you want as to whether you just keep going. Let that dry, sand it down again, paint it some more. Let that dry, sand it down. You get the vibe. So there we go. That's priming done, and it's looking pretty good. I'm really pleased, actually. Personally, I'm really excited about this project coming together. You know, this has been in my garage for 2 years. This was just one sheet of 12mm MDF that I had lying around in the garage. That's not cost me anything for this project. That was scrap, waste. It was actually winding everyone up because it was getting in the way. So these two things combined have finished this wall really well. Bit of hard work-ish, bit of measuring, bit of cutting, bit of gluing together, you know. You can work this stuff out, you really can. Just take your time. If you're being paid to do it, you've got to go with a plan, present it, get on with it quickly. This is my time off, this is at home, you know, I'm playing with the kids, I'm enjoying time, and I'm doing this. And this is still manageable, so you can do it too. Top coat left. And then we're going to add a few little finishing touches just to close us out. So if you've enjoyed this so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could give the video a like, because that pushes it out to other people so they can also see what's involved in doing this and maybe give it a go themselves. That's what this channel is about. Growing skills, growing confidence, and give it a go. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be great, because that helps me steering into the future. It's going to help me massively. So yeah, I appreciate that. Anyway, let's get this project wrapped up. Gloss done, first coat anyway. Now I need to leave that about a year before I can do it again. No, a day. So I'm going to have to leave that a little while because I'm busy now for another week. So I'm going to have to leave that till the next weekend and then I'll gloss that again. However, the bed's arrived. So flat pack, yay! Let's get the bed in. Now I need to get a mirror on the wall. I've got some boxes to put in here. Oh, it's exciting! Well, bed's arrived in about 1 million pieces. Oh no. Well, it's no point complaining. 1:30 now. My daughter's due home for 3:30. What do you reckon? 2 hours? 1 million pieces? Not all flat pack is created equal. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, you really don't want to watch this. So next time you see me, it's going to look a little something like this. Well, built the bed. That was fun. 2 hours of my life not getting back. But fair play. Pretty decent. what's next? Daughter's reaction. That's what's next. I've put some boxes in, chuck some flowers up, you know, that sort of jazz. So hopefully she's going to enjoy it. So let's wait and see how she responds when she gets home in just a few minutes.
Is it on the verge of like finishing? You in here? Oh my bed! Oh my goodness!
Any good?
Does it open?
It does. So I've still got a bit of painting to do, a bit of touching up and all that jazz.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
I wanted you to see how it's looking. Got your mirror in.
You put all the plants in there.
I'll put a few plants in it, yeah.
Are they going to stay here?
Maybe. Maybe not. You have to get you some of your own.
If they're fake, I'm fine, but if they're
Yeah.
real, then I hate it.
What do you think?
I really like it.
Yeah?
Perfect.
Good. Got a few cupboards underneath here. I've got some drawers that I need to still fill to go
Yeah.
under there.
There's a
But you've got some cupboards under there.
big cupboard. Oh wow, that's massive.
On this end as well.
Oh wow.